Hello everyone, welcome to today's lesson on being able to solve equations containing brackets. If you can just jot that naughty words down for me please, and then press play when you're ready to go through some examples. Okay, welcome back. So let's get straight into it then. First two examples that we're going to do here then, so copy these down. Now we've already in a previous lesson looked at how to expand the bracket. Okay, so today we're still going to be using those same skills, but we're also going to be solving afterwards as well. So remember that when we expand the bracket, we multiply the outside by two terms on the inside. So if we expand this one, 6 times 8 will give us 6a, wouldn't it? 6 times 2 will give us 12. Okay, so that's what we did yesterday. In today's lesson, it tells us in the question that that is equal to 42. Okay, so we expand the bracket first, and we get 6a plus 12 equals 42. All right, from there then, this is where we solve the equation because it's equal to something this time. So we're going to work backwards and we're going to find out the value of a. Right, so the way we work backwards, remember, is by doing the inverse. So at the moment, this says 6a plus 12 equals 42. The opposite to adding 12 is to subtract. So we're going to subtract 12 from both sides. Okay, if we subtract 12 from both sides, then we get 6a equals 42 minus 12 is 30. Okay, and then remember 6a means 6 times by a, or a times by 6. So we do the inverse again, and the inverse of times by 6 is to divide by 6. So we get a equals 30 divided by 6 is 5. Okay, it's a good idea then to check that answer in the question. So if a does equal 5, let's just double check. Okay, remember we do the bracket first, don't we? So if a is 5, then 5 plus 2 is 7. 6 times by 7 is 42. So a is definitely 5. Okay, same thing for question B then. So expand the bracket first. So 5 times by w is 5w. 5 times by minus 4 is minus 20, and that is equal to 40. And now we start doing the inverse and we work out the value of w. Okay, so this says minus 20 here, then the inverse of minus 20 is to add 20. So we'll add 20 to both sides. We end up getting 5w equals 40 plus 20 is 60. Okay, and then same as last time, 6a meant to times by 6, so this means to times by 5. Yeah, 5w is w times by 5. So the inverse of times by 5 is to divide. W equals 12 because 60 divided by 5 is 12, isn't it? Okay, let's double check that in the answer again. Look, so if W is 12, then 12 minus 4 is 8. 5 times by 8 is 40. Good, that is definitely the answer. Okay, moving on then. So just two more with a bit more practice, and then you can have a go at some yourself. So we're going to expand the bracket first. Okay, so 5 times 4a is 20a. 5 times 2 is 10. That is equal to 70 in this question. Now we start doing the inverse. This says plus 10, so the opposite is to subtract. So 20a equals 70 minus 10, that's 60, isn't it? And then remember 20a means a times by 20. The inverse of times by 20 is dividing. So how many 20s in 60 is 3. If we just double check that in here now, look, 4 times by a, so 4 times by 3 is 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. 14 times by 5 does actually give you 70 if we break that down. 10 times 5 is 50. 4 times 5 is 20. 50 plus 20 is 70. So a equals 3 is correct. And then last one, expand the brackets, look, so 4 times by 2x, that's 8x. 4 times minus 4 minus 16, that is equal to 32. Now we work backwards. The opposite of taking away 16 is to add. So 8x equals 32 plus 16 is 48. This means x times by 8. The inverse of times by 8 is to divide. X equals 48 divided by 8, which is 6. And again, always check that answer in the question. So 2 times by 6 is 12. 12 minus 4 is 8. 4 times by 8 does give you 32. I'm happy with that solution. Okay, so here is the main task then for today's lesson. All right, so press pause, have a go at these based on the examples we've just gone through, and press play then when you're ready to see the answers, please. Okay, welcome back then. So the answers that you need to check then for these, okay, I've broken them down into steps for you. Okay, so this answer here is after you've expanded the bracket. This is after you've done the first step that you need to then in terms of working backwards. So in this case, subtracting 4, and then this one is the final answer once you divide by 2. Okay, so just take a look at the rest of those answers there as well, please, and then obviously you can press pause now and check through these, make any amendments that you need to, mark the ones you've done, and press play when you're ready for the checking question. Okay, welcome back then. So today's checking question is here, as you can see. So solve the following equation. It should just say equation. It's only one equation. Okay, so as we've done in the whole of the lesson now, I want you to expand the brackets first and see if you can solve the equation from there. All right, so press pause, have a go at this, press play when you're ready for the answer. Okay, welcome back then. So the answer, let's expand the brackets then. So 9a, because that's 3 times 3a, isn't it? 3 times 2 is 6. And this is a positive here. And 2 times 4a is 8a. 2 times 2 is 4. That is equal to 44. So it's quite difficult to solve this equation now. So what we need to do is simplify. So collect together the terms that are the same. So we've got 9a there, plus another 8a, which is 17a in total. And then we've got plus 6 plus 4 there, which is plus 10, equals 44. Okay, so this is more like the equations that we've done now throughout the whole video, throughout the whole lesson. It's just a normal two-step equation. So now we can work backwards and solve for a. So that says plus 10. The opposite is to subtract. Okay, so we get 17a equals 34. Then remember, this means to times by 17, so we do the opposite and divide. A must equal 2. And if you want to check that in the equation then at the top, because we need to make sure that our answer works, okay? 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8, 3 times 8 is 24, 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10, 2 times 10 is 20, and 24 plus 20 gives you 44. Okay, so that's the end of today's lesson. Thanks very much for listening and watching, and I'll see you soon.